Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Shodanandan Rajajanaranjana Yashodanandan Rajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraj Acharya Stupana Saka Srishna His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki His Confounder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, Chapter 22, The Orbits of the Planets. Is it chapter 22? 23? 22? Takes 7, right? Okay. I'm just going to sing and then we do the translation together. Athacha yavan navomandalam saha dyav aprithivyur mandala byam karch nyena sahabunjitu tam kalam samvatsaram parivatsaram ida vatsaram anuvatsaram vatsaram iti banur mandya Saingriya Samagatibhi Sama Mamanti. Please repeat. Atha, now. Cha, also. Yavat, as long as. Nabhamandalam, outer space between the upper and lower world. Saha, along with. Dyav, of the upper world. Apritivyoho, of the lower world. Mandalabhyam, the spheres. Karchnyena, entirely. Saha, he. Ha, indeed. Bunjita, may pass through. Tam, that. Kalam, time. Samvatsaram, samvatsar. Parishvatsaram, parivatsar. Idavatsaram, idavatsar. Anuvatsaram, anuvatsar. Vatsaram, vatsar. Iti, thus. Banuho, of the sun. Mandya, slow. Shaigriha, speedy. Sama, and equal. Gatibi, by the speeds. Samamananti, the experienced scholars describe. Okay. So translation. The sun god has 3 speeds: slow, fast, and moderate. The time he takes to travel entirely around the spheres of heaven, earth, and space at these 3 speeds is referred to by learned scholars by the 5 names Samvatsar, Parivatsar, Idavatsar, Anuvatsar, and Vatsar. Purport. According to solar astronomical calculations, each year extends 6 days beyond the calendar year. And according to lunar calculation, each year is 6 days shorter. Therefore, because of the movements of the sun and moon, there is a difference of 12 days between the solar and lunar years. As the Samvatsar, Parivatsar, Idavatsar, Anuvatsar, and Vatsar pass by, 2 extra months are added within each 5 year. This makes a 6th Samvatsar, but because that Samvatsar is extra, the solar system is calculated according to the above 5 names. Okay, translation again. The sun god has 3 speeds: slow, fast, and moderate. The time he takes to travel entirely around the spheres of heaven, earth, and space at these 3 speeds is referred to by learned scholars by the 5 names Samvatsar, Parivatsar, Idavatsar, Anuvatsar, and Vatsar. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananchala Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So here we hear very specific names about astronomy, you can say. Like we've been just been mentioning different zodiacs, different astrological and astronomical phases, you can say, or calculations. Very fascinating, of course, for those like us who are materially attached, right? We like to study the world around us and get fascinated by it. And Shukadev Goswami is satisfying that need. He talks about certain aspects of the universe that are very fascinating. But according to Srila Prabhupada, this is not even a spark of what's out there in this material universe. He's just mentioning a few things. If he'd be mentioning, the whole material creation, detailing it and explaining it, and then, the Bhagavatam would be 10 times bigger. I don't know how many times, but huge. But Shukadev Goswami's intention wasn't really to give us the description of the material universe. His point was to increase our bhakti. Right? Every canto, every verse, every chapter, every verse, Prabhupada says, he's so nice. Even one word, if you just try to understand one of his words, it's such a nice thing. It can transform your life. He says that, Prabhupada says that. Bhagavatam is such a nice thing. That one word can transform your life. And the Bhagavatam is, how many verses? 18,000, right? So how many words, Srila Prabhupada in one conversation, morning walk, he said, we can study, how much was it? One verse for 1 month. Each verse we can study for 1 month of the Bhagavatam. Like this verse has about 20 to 30, 25 around words. So we can study one word a day. The word, like here, the first word, atha. Right? We study that one class, then we go to the next word, cha. Why did he say cha at this point, Shukadev Goswami? Why, you can elaborate on that. Go for another day. So the whole verse will take 1 month. Prabhupada says so, and then so how long will it take? So they take the calculation, they say 1,500 years, Srila Prabhupada. So we can study 1,500 years, Prabhupada said. Yes, 1,500 years. But because our lives are so short, we just give a synopsis, like a resume. Like here too, yes, Shukadev Goswami actually, this Bhagavatam is just a synopsis. In the first canto, Srila Prabhupada says that he spoke the Bhagavatam in the heavenly planets, and it's 300,000 verses. Yes. Even the demigods are keen to hear from him. And it's almost 20 times as long as the Bhagavatam we have. So you can extend the knowledge. But here, of course, Shukadev Goswami, pre-seeing the future of the world, he only gave a Bhagavatam within a few days, right? 7 days. Maybe, around 7 days, and 18,000 verses, talking day and night. So the story about the Bhagavatam being spoken in the earthly planet is quite amazing. I mean, it's explained in the first canto that, Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, the emperor of the world. There's one emperor, one monarch, the whole earthly planet, and none of the 4 regulative principles is broken in any part of the earthly planet, right? He's so powerful like that. We sometimes say, this devotee is is like a kshatriya, or this devotee is like a brahmana. But if we really look at the examples given from Scripture, I mean, how far off are we of the mark of those personalities? I mean, even, Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra, these personalities are described in the Mahabharata. And Duryodhan, for example, he just dived into a lake and meditated, I don't know for how many days. I think it was only one day or so. But he was, with his mystic power, he was on the water, preparing to come out and keep going. I don't know, he knew that the war was over, but can't remember exactly what reason he gave, but they asked, at some point they challenged him, what are you doing there? Why are you not coming out and face? And he gave some reason, can't remember, but these Kshatriyas, they were so powerful, they just had these mystic powers. And the Dhritarashtra, for example, after the war, when he was really upset, of course, especially with Bhima, because Bhima had killed his 100 sons. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons and one daughter. And actually, he had 101. He had also a son with a maiden, some Shudrani that was in the palace, whose name was Yuyutsu. He was actually the one who put the funeral pyre for. He was the next successor of the Kuru dynasty, I think, until Maharaj Parikshit ascended. So Bhima killed his 100 sons in the battlefield. So Dhritarashtra, of course, was very upset, and he couldn't control himself. So when they came back from the battle, the 5 Pandavas, Dhritarashtra said he wanted to embrace Bhima, give him a hug. And Krishna was standing there, he said, because Duryodhan had made an iron replica statue of Bhima to vent his anger. Right? Bhima was his sworn enemy. So he had this iron statue and would beat it, fight it, that iron statue. That statue was there, and Krishna said, motion to that Dhritarashtra gave a hug to that statue. Don't hug, he kind of indicated. So the servant took Dhritarashtra to the iron statue. Dhritarashtra embraced the statue and crushed it. It was made of full iron. And he crushed it. So they weren't ordinary beings, even if they weren't necessarily devotees, but they were powerful. So Maharaj Parikshit also was a very powerful king. He controlled the whole earth planet. One of the 4 regular principles broken. As I said in my last class today, that the authorities, they can't even control the 4 regulars being broken in one house. Right? I mean, in every house, basically, unless it's a devotee house or at the temple, at least 1 or 2 of the 4 regular principles are broken. Right? I mean, who doesn't drink alcohol in Switzerland and eat meat, right? What to say of illicit sex and gambling. Yes, so in every house. But in Maharaj Parikshit's times, he was so adamant, you could say, or also, these days, somebody who's imposing himself, right, is looked at as a tyrant, as a, demon, basically. But if the person who actually puts the rules and puts the foot down is a good person who follows Dharma, then that's actually good. There was an instance where, that's why Prabhupada sometimes mentioned that that's the reason why he went to the USA, because they were the most powerful nation in the planet. And they were his hope was that they were going to take up Krishna consciousness and control the rest of the planet. Now today we see, America this is just a temporary example, but especially Europeans, they freak out when they hear, how America is taking no, they're not taking any excuses, right? They're like, we're going to do this and we don't care what the rest of the world says, right? And European politicians freaking out, what's going on, right? Well, this is unacceptable, right? Like that. So, but actually Prabhupada said if the leadership would be Krishna conscious, that is actually what he was aiming for. Because in one lecture, very interesting lecture, he says that it was the only country in the world that some religiosity was still prominent. They have still some strong religious inclination, and Prabhupada was hopeful that Krishna consciousness would actually take over the world by the leading force of the United States of America. So, yeah, it's actually not a bad thing. The instance I wanted to mention was also Johnson. Prabhupada went, of course, to America, and then when he got there, the president's name was Johnson, and there was some conflict, and Johnson was really strong in shutting the whole conflict down with superior power. He wasn't going to listen to what the local opinion was, and we want this, we want... No, he just put his superior, what do you call that, authority, yes, authority in, and put the whole, finished the whole conflict. And Prabhupada actually proved of that. He said, yes, a strong government with strong principles, of course, he was just using this as an example, but Prabhupada's dream was that the strongest government on the planet is going to become Krishna conscious and actually puts the foot down and finishes the whole, what would you call it, phantasmagoria, and the whole, mental, we want this, we want that, we need this for sense gratification to be happy. But Krishna is saying that you can't be happy by fulfilling the desires of your senses. You're never going to be happy. You make this arrangement, that arrangement, nice house, nice family, nice this, nice, and everything has to be perfect, right, to every detail. I mean, Switzerland is basically the emblem of, or the top of how you organize every detail for, so you don't feel any incommodity in this world, right? Every detail is down to the last pin, as they say in English. Everything is organized down to the last pin. So you won't get happy like that, and you can see it. Swiss people are not happy. Nobody's happy in this world by adjusting, the sense gratification, the demands of our senses. No, happiness comes from when you connect with Krishna from the inside. We say the inside, but actually Krishna is everywhere. But specifically, he's in our heart. So we call it the inside. But actually, yeah, when we connect with Krishna, wherever it is, but especially in our heart. So these Kshatriyas, of course, they were a different level. Like, look at Maharaj Parikshit, right? He gets cursed, and he takes the curse as a benediction. If I tell you if you tell anyone in this world you're gonna die in 7 days, it's a big commotion, and what people won't do, right? If you have 7 days, so what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna drink the best of wines and eat the best of meats, and right, and visit the place I always wanted to see my whole life, like that. But Maharaj Parikshit, when he was told, you have 7 days to live, okay, so he just gave up his kingdom and he just sat down at the river Ganges. Of course, it's said in the scripture, river Ganges. So he sat down there and just started to fast. Right? He just gave up the kingdom, he entitled his son, and he just, imagine one of the presidents of Switzerland, the federal Bundesrat, one of them gets to notice that he has cancer, he's going to die in 7 days, and he just puts on a very simple cloth and sits somewhere near the Zurich lake and is going to, fast until he drops, like that. What would you think? So that was Maharaj Parikshit. He sat down, and then something very, you would think like, what's the gain of sitting down next to a river and fast? But something very special, extraordinary started to happen. What happened? Suddenly all the sages started to walk around the place. You see all these, not just sages from this planet, sages from the top planets in the universe started to walk around. And they started, it's said in the first canto, they started asking each other, what are you doing here? And they were giving the excuse that they were on some, what's the exact English word? They were just on a casual visit or something. But actually they were all there because they knew about Maharaj Parikshit, and they knew that Shukadev Goswami was going to come and speak the Bhagavatam. So he was not an ordinary sage, not just in the heavenly planets, even in the upper four, beyond the Svargaloka, we are Burloka, and then there's the living entities that are half gods, half humans, Bhuvar, and then there's Svar, that's the demigods, right? Like in Greek philosophy, that's the pantheon, where the Zeus and there's 12 of them. You can study those gods also in Greek philosophy. It's very interesting. But anyway, in our philosophy, of course, Vedic philosophy, it's Indra, Agni, and all these different demigods. They live in those Svargalokas. But there's another, and actually Svargaloka, if you look, it's just those three planetary systems, they're just above the Garbhodaka ocean. Just above. But way beyond, I don't know how many yojanas, is Maharloka. And then there's Mahar, Tapo, and then there's another, Jana, I'm not sure, is it Jana first, Tapo, and then Brahmaloka, right? These are the top four planetary systems, which are way beyond our, you can even say imagination. Like, I mean, we are here now, sometimes just making this point, but when we try to understand this fifth canto and this, material universe and all the descriptions given, we really get confused because this planet is basically made of water and earth, and then some fire, some air, some space. So we think in 3 dimensions space, but then it goes beyond that. It goes mind, intelligence, like that, the material ingredients, right? And to try to understand, we say like, so one planetary system is above the other and this and that. But it's impossible with our minds to grab actually these description of the universe. You can get a glimpse like Shukadev Goswami is giving it, but it goes way beyond our even mental capacity. So, yeah, we try to squeeze out some understanding sometimes, but we should simply accept through Shukadev Goswami that it's way beyond our capacity even of imagination. So that's why descriptions are there. Now, the sages, of course, Shukadev Goswami, he came down to the earthly planet to speak the Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. And the sages were there. How many was it? Tens of thousands of sages were actually coming to not to Naimisharanya, to that place near the Ganges to listen to Shukadev Goswami speak the Bhagavatam. And it's explained that, if you look also at these personalities, like the first canto, Shukadev Goswami. I mean, he stayed 16 years in the womb. He didn't come out because he didn't want to get entangled with the illusory energy. So he stayed in the womb. And Vyasadeva was saying, please, come out. But he wouldn't until Krishna came. Krishna visited and gave him the assurance that he's not going to become entangled in the material energy. And what happened? He came out of the womb and he stood up. I understand he immediately grew into a youth and he walked out. He walked out of the hermitage, or the hut, and Vyasadeva was running after him and calling out to him, but all you could hear was the echo of his, dear son, where are you going? All you could hear is the echo. Shukadev Goswami, he just walked out. Like that, it's also described some very, amazing, hard to believe facts. But then when he started speaking the Bhagavatam, so all the sages were there. Narada Muni was there. His father Vyasadeva was there. And then also the Jamaraj was there for 7 days. So during 7 days, nobody died. That's what it says in first canto of Srimad Prabhupada says. So 7 days, nobody died. Because Yamaraj was listening to the Bhagavatam. So that also means that when we listen to the Bhagavatam, we become immortal. The Bhagavatam makes us, if we really grab and understand the Bhagavatam, we become immortal. Of course we become immortal. We go back to the spiritual world. But also during those 7 days, nobody died. So how is that really, I don't know if that just... I think it just means the human beings, but because they are getting judged by Yamaraj. And he put, I think his name was Aryama, somebody else while he was away. Like that. But I understand, if I understand correctly, no human being died during that time. Because Yamaraj was listening to the Bhagavatam by Shukadev Goswami. That's how keen that even the demigods were to listen to Shukadev. And we're having it right here, giving this, synopsis information about the universe, making us marvel, making us become excited about these descriptions. What to say, of the spiritual, when we go beyond the material energy and we enter the Vaikuntha planets, the spiritual world. This is so much more exciting even than this description. So if we're already, fascinated by this, how much would we be when in our pure state? How much are we fascinated by the Vaikuntha planets? What to say of Krishna Loka? What to say of Vrindavan? How fascinating it is if you really actually become purified and can see it through the medium of your heart. The more our heart becomes purified, the more Goloka Vrindavan and the spiritual world becomes revealed in our heart. It's not possible with our mind. Our mind is so conditioned as we, even in this material universe, but our heart is actually the medium, is actually a machine to understand, which can understand the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. Can understand it, can see it, even in this lifetime. You can, when you purify your heart by following this process, you can see Goloka Vrindavan. So our heart is really the people don't know this science, and how unfortunate is that. Prabhupada always lamented how this is not taught in schools, goodness, they teach them so many things like engineer and architecture and all these things, banking and farming and oh my God, just to make a living, to maintain a body which is absolutely miserable. Right? And then this information where you can see the top planet in the spiritual world, develop a relationship with Krishna and be eternally happy. in a perfect, absolute blissful body eternally. Nobody's teaching it. It's just, you can't even grab, how is this possible? Prabhupada said, this is especially India, in the early days when Prabhupada came. Of course, now it has changed. That was Prabhupada's plan. But he went to the West because he wanted to convert the Westerners and then send them back to India so the Indians would take up Krishna consciousness again. Because India is just covered. It's like a fine cover of dust. If you remove the dust, the Varnashram system and Krishna consciousness will come up again. Like that. That was Prabhupada's plan, and that's what's happening. But he would say so that this is very lamentable. His only explanation Prabhupada gives is you have to be very unfortunate. If your culture is this Bhagavatam, this Vedic, culture, and which is like gold, and then you have this, material, which is like fake gold. This Western civilization, which is based on, sinful activity. So you have this fake, horrible, but it looks like gold because it's fake. And then you have the real gold. And you go to a person and you say, this is real gold, this is fake gold. Take your pick. And you go, I take the fake one. How unfortunate is that? It's not worth anything. Here you have thousands of, worth real gold, and you say choose, and people go, oh, let me take the fake one. That's how unfortunate it is. This information of the Bhagavatam is so extraordinary on a different level. We can't imagine. We're the only place who's teaching it. So how responsible do we have to become as preachers in the Krishna consciousness movement? Srila Prabhupada actually expected us to become expert preachers of the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, to cause the spiritual revolution in the misguided society. That is the first purpose of ISKCON. There's 7 purposes. It's always good to read those purposes again that Prabhupada put in paper. So systematically teach society at large. It doesn't say about Krishna or anything. It says systematically teach society at large, misguided society, about spiritual values, like that. He starts off with spiritual values, and then second purpose he's talking about, yes, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. But so how big is our responsibility? We have here the gold in our hand, and somehow or other we're expected to make it available for those who are actually want to become fortunate. Just like Shukadev Goswami, came all the way down to preach to Maharaj Parikshit and preach to us ultimately. That was his, that was his intention. The Bhagavatam to be spoken. Okay, I'll stop here. So any question? Okay. Thank you very much. Shri Sri Gaura Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai.
probably
No,
can.
no, I want to just.
Yeah, but I will take it after work.
No, we can go together.
You can sit.
We
sit.
can go
Yes,
together.
but I don't have stress, Stella. I just bring it up and then you.
Hey, that's close. Ah, what do you need?
Maybe you see, and I repeat it.
Okay. Are you sure?
Chandra Sushritala, Jai Jagatajura, Jai Jagatajura. Koji Chandra Sushitama Ye Chai Jagata Juna Ye Chai Jagata Juna Kenani Taibi Neman Radha Krishna Paetina Lila Koi Narani Dharma Lila Koi Narani Dharma Se Sambanana Hija Vita Tangela Se Pashu Goro Duracha Se Pashu Goro Duracha Vita Navalilo Mukhi Majilo Samsara Sukhi Vijapule Kikari Beta Vijapule Kikari Beta Asarpada Kama
Nitai pada.
Koji Chandra Sushitama